Listen up. When you truly understand your own value, something incredible happens. You begin to radiate a magnetic energy that attracts everything you deserve into your life. This is not about seeking approval or validation from others. It's about embracing who you are, your strengths, your uniqueness, and standing tall in your own power. People are drawn to energy, to confidence, to authenticity, and when you fully embrace yourself, you create an aura of self-assurance that pulls the right people toward you. And when you stand in your truth, he can't help but feel that energy. He will recognize that you are someone who cannot be overlooked. But remember, this isn't about acting out of ego or arrogance. It's about knowing that you are enough just as you are. And when you embrace that, you'll start to notice that he will come to you. Let me make this clear. There is a big difference between waiting for someone and allowing someone to come into your life. Waiting comes from a place of desperation, of fear, of thinking that you need someone to complete you. Waiting places all of your power in the hands of another person, and it creates a feeling of neediness that can never attract the right person. He will feel that energy, and it won't pull him in. It'll push him away. But when you let go of the need to control everything, that's when the magic happens. Allowing comes from a place of trust and confidence. It's the belief that the right people will enter your life when the time is right. It's not about waiting for him to make the first move. It's about believing that if it's meant to be, he will find his way to you. When you stop waiting and shift your focus back to yourself, you stop placing your happiness and sense of worth on someone else's actions. Instead, you take full responsibility for your own life and happiness. This is where the shift begins. When you invest in your own growth, when you focus on your goals, your passions, your well-being, you become the best version of yourself. And here's the thing, the right man won't just notice, you'll be impossible for him to ignore. He will see that you are someone who is strong, confident, and self-assured. This kind of energy is contagious, and he will naturally be drawn to it. This is not about playing games or trying to make someone jealous. This is about living your life fully, unapologetically, and watching as the world around you starts to shift. You can't wait for him to decide if you're worthy. That's not the mindset of someone who knows their value. Instead, you should be the one deciding if he is worthy of your time, your energy, your love. Think about it for a moment. When you put your worth in someone else's hands, you give away your power. But when you take that power back, when you decide that you're enough on your own, you become a force. And it's in that space where he will start to see you in a completely different light. He will recognize that your attention and energy aren't given away freely. They must be earned. It's important to remember that the key to attracting the right people into your life isn't about desperation or playing hard to get. It's about creating an environment where the right people are naturally drawn to you. When you stop waiting for someone to fill a void or make you feel complete, you create a space for real connections to unfold. And when he sees you living fully in your own power, focusing on your own growth, not only will he be drawn to you, but he will feel that he has to bring his best self to the table. Release the need for control. This is where so many people go wrong. They try to control the outcome. They try to dictate when and how things should unfold. But true power comes when you let go of the need to force the situation and allow things to flow naturally. Trust that the right person, the right energy will find its way to you. When you release that control, it's not about giving up. It's about trusting in the process of life. You begin to live in harmony with the world around you. And when you do that, everything falls into place. And when he feels that trust in the process, he will come to you, not because you need him to, but because he wants to. Let go of the idea that you must constantly chase someone to show them you're worth it. Live your life with purpose and authenticity. When you show up unapologetically, living for yourself and not for others, you automatically become a magnet. People, he included, will want to be around that kind of energy. You are not waiting for him to decide if you are worthy. You are living your life to its fullest, knowing that if he is the right one, he will step up to meet you there. This is where true attraction lies, not in waiting, but in living your best life unapologetically and allowing the right people to find their way to you. When you truly begin to understand your worth, something extraordinary happens. You start to radiate a powerful energy that attracts everything you desire into your life. This isn't about seeking approval from others or waiting for validation. It's about recognizing that you are enough just as you are. Imagine how different your life would look if you no longer needed to prove yourself to anyone, especially a man. When you fully embrace your self-worth, you not only become the best version of yourself, but you also become magnetic. He will feel that energy from miles away. It's an aura that makes you irresistible, and it draws the right people, the right opportunities, and the right situations right to you. It's about stepping into your own power and not asking for permission to shine. But here's the secret. When you understand your value, you no longer feel the need to chase after him or anyone else. You stop putting others on a pedestal and start recognizing that you are just as valuable as anyone else. This energy shift is what makes him see you differently. When you know your worth, it's not about arrogance or ego. It's about inner strength and the belief that you deserve the best. And he will recognize that. He will see that you are someone who is not easily impressed, someone who has boundaries, and someone who understands her own power. That's the kind of woman who attracts a man who values her, not someone who settles for crumbs. The moment you stop waiting for someone to fill the void in your life is the moment everything begins to change. Waiting for someone to validate you, to make you feel complete, will only lead to frustration and disappointment. Instead, choose to stand in your own power. Stop waiting for someone else to show you your worth and start proving it to yourself every single day. When you stop waiting for someone to complete you, you begin to live for yourself. And that's when the magic happens. That's when he notices you. Not because you're chasing him or begging for his attention, but because you've become a woman who is already whole. And when you're whole, he has to show up as his best self to match the energy you bring to the table. He will want to earn your attention, your respect, and your love. It's important to remember that waiting isn't the same as allowing. Waiting comes from a place of neediness, desperation, and fear. You're placing your happiness in someone else's hands, hoping that he will decide you're worthy of his time. But allowing comes from a place of abundance and trust. You know that the right man will come when the time is right. You no longer waste your energy chasing after him because you trust the process of life. When you allow, you stop forcing things to happen and you start living fully in the present moment. And when you do that, everything you want, whether it's love, success, or happiness, begins to flow effortlessly into your life. Imagine how powerful it would feel to know that you are worthy of everything you desire without having to prove it to anyone. When you live from this place, you no longer feel the need to constantly seek approval or validation. Instead, you begin to take ownership of your life. You focus on your growth, your dreams, and your goals. You pour energy into becoming the best version of yourself, and that energy radiates outward. When you live this way, he will not be able to ignore you. The right man will be drawn to your energy. He will want to be part of your world, and most importantly, he will recognize that in order to earn your attention, he must show up as someone who deserves it. When you begin to live unapologetically, your entire world changes. You stop caring about what others think of you because you already know who you are and what you bring to the table. This is not about being selfish or disregarding the feelings of others. It's about putting yourself first and understanding that your needs, your desires, and your happiness are just as important as anyone else's. When you live this way, you become magnetic. People, including him, will feel that energy. They'll be drawn to you, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you're living authentically. When you embrace who you are and stop trying to fit into someone else's mold, that's when the right man shows up and wants to be a part of your world. Here's the real power. By embracing your worth, you stop waiting for someone to tell you that you're worthy. You stop waiting for someone to decide if you're good enough. You take control of your own life, your own happiness, and your own success. And when you do that, you become a force. He will see it. He will feel it. And it will be impossible for him not to want to be around you. Not because you're waiting for him, but because you're living fully in your power and authenticity. When you stop waiting and start living your life, that's when everything changes. And that's when he will come to you. You've spent so much of your life waiting for him to call, waiting for him to notice you, waiting for the validation you crave. But here's the truth. Waiting is a trap. It's a silent killer of your self-worth, and it keeps you stuck in a cycle of anticipation and disappointment. The more you wait, the more you place your power in someone else's hands. And when you do that, you're giving up the control you have over your own happiness. But imagine, for a moment, what it would feel like to shift your mindset from waiting to allowing. This change in perspective can be life-altering, and it's exactly what you need to stop feeling stuck and start living freely. When you wait, you feel as though you're dependent on him for your sense of worth. You put all your hope into the idea that if he acknowledges you or gives you the attention you seek, then and only then will you be happy. But this is the trap that so many fall into. It creates a sense of desperation, a feeling that your life is incomplete without someone else's approval. You sit around hoping for him to call or send a text, convinced that your happiness hinges on his act. But this isn't the way to live. This isn't how you should show up in the world. Now imagine a shift in that dynamic. Instead of waiting, you simply allow. You no longer feel the need to chase after him or beg for his attention. You stop waiting for someone to tell you your worth, and instead you start owning your value. You allow what is meant for you to come to you, knowing that when the time is right, he will show up. This shift from waiting to allowing doesn't mean you're passive. It means you're actively choosing to trust in the process of life. You're allowing space for the right people to enter your world naturally without forcing it. When you make this shift, something amazing happens. Your energy changes. No longer will you be a person waiting for others to fill the gaps in your life. You become someone who is whole, someone who is already living their best life, and someone who knows that they deserve the best. This energy is magnetic. When you embrace this mindset, he can feel it. He sees a woman who is confident, independent, and living life fully. And that is incredibly attractive. You stop chasing and start attracting. The key to allowing is trust. You trust that if someone is meant to be in your life, they will come. You stop trying to control the outcome. Stop trying to force him to meet your expectations, and instead let things unfold naturally. This kind of trust is liberating. You no longer have to worry about whether he will text first, whether he will call, or whether he will be as invested as you are. You simply trust that the right person will show up at the right time. And when you allow, you let go of the pressure of perfection. You let go of the need to control every interaction or every step of the process. You live in the moment, trusting that whatever is meant for you will find its way to you. One of the most important aspects of allowing is recognizing that you're not waiting for someone to complete you. You are already complete. Your life is full of opportunities, of experiences, of joy. He doesn't define who you are or how you feel about yourself. The moment you let go of the belief that you need someone to complete you, you open yourself up to receiving the best that life has to offer. And when you embrace this truth, you'll notice that he will be drawn to your confidence and independence. He'll see a woman who doesn't need him, but wants him. And that subtle shift in energy is the difference between begging for attention and having someone earn it. When you stop waiting for him to make the first move, you begin to create space for real connection. He will be drawn to the energy of someone who is not desperate, but someone who is living life on her own terms. And when you allow, you give yourself permission to take a step back and truly evaluate if this is the right person for you. You don't need to force the connection or make him choose you. You simply allow him the freedom to choose. And in that freedom, you get clarity. You get to see whether or not he is ready for the kind of love, respect, and commitment that you bring into the relationship. The shift from waiting to allowing also means stepping into your own power. You are no longer at the mercy of someone else's decisions. You are in control of your own happiness, your own joy, and your own life. You allow love to come to you, not because you're desperate, but because you know your worth and you know that the right man will rise to meet you. This is where true empowerment lies. You allow yourself the space to live without needing permission from anyone. You let go of the idea that your happiness is contingent on someone else's actions. Instead, you take responsibility for your own emotions, your own life, and you trust that what is meant for you will find its way to you. And when he does show up, it will be because he sees the value you bring to the table, not because you begged for it. You will attract him by being the best version of yourself. and by allowing the relationship to unfold naturally without trying to control every aspect of it. This is how powerful, magnetic relationships are formed, through allowing, not waiting. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you are enough without needing anyone's validation to feel worthy or significant. How would your life change if you focused on improving yourself instead of constantly seeking approval from others? When you make self-improvement your primary goal, something extraordinary happens. You stop living for the approval of others and begin to live for your own growth. You start to cultivate your strengths, hone your skills, and build your confidence in ways that no external opinion can ever match. This is the key to unlocking the life you deserve. And the moment you shift your focus from seeking validation to embracing personal growth, you'll realize that your happiness doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. When he sees that you no longer rely on his words or actions to feel complete, it shifts everything. You stop playing the waiting game, hoping that his compliments or attention will make you feel validated. Instead, you begin to build your own self-worth through your actions, your mindset, and your belief in your own potential. Every time you take action to improve yourself, you reinforce the belief that you are worthy of everything you desire, no approval necessary. As you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, you begin to radiate confidence. This energy is magnetic. It pulls the right people into your life, especially him. Self-improvement is not just about getting better at certain skills or tasks. It's about developing a mindset that pushes you to continuously strive for progress, regardless of where you are today. It's the daily commitment to growing, learning, and evolving. This mindset change is not always easy, but it's worth it. When you focus on self-improvement, you shift your perspective from thinking he needs to approve of you to realizing that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. No longer do you need his validation. Instead, you have the power to validate yourself by how far you've come. The trap many fall into is the desire for external approval, whether it's from him, your family, your friends, or society. Seeking validation from the outside world can quickly become an exhausting cycle. You constantly find yourself wondering if you are enough, if you are doing enough, or if you're meeting someone else's standards. But when you realize that the only approval that matters is your own, the weight of external expectations lifts. You start to live life on your own terms, and you stop giving so much power to what others think of you. When you stop living for approval, you free yourself to become the person you were always meant to be. Focusing on self-improvement doesn't mean you won't care about him or others around you. It means you stop letting their opinions determine your happiness. You stop measuring your worth by how much attention he gives you or how often he says the right things. Instead, you look at your own growth, your progress, and your accomplishments, and you validate yourself. You start recognizing that you have everything within you to create the life you want. When you focus on improving yourself, you no longer feel the need to wait for someone else to make you feel seen or loved. You already know your value, and that confidence will draw the right people into your life, including him. It's easy to get lost in the pursuit of external validation. We live in a world where likes, comments, and attention are often equated with success and self-worth. But the truth is, these external factors are fleeting. They don't create lasting happiness. Real, lasting happiness comes from within. It comes from waking up every day with the knowledge that you are worthy, regardless of his actions or anyone else's opinion. When you shift your focus from external approval to self-improvement, you begin to realize that your power comes from within. You are your own biggest supporter. When you validate yourself, you can stand strong in your beliefs, your decisions, and your actions, no matter what others may think or say. One of the most profound realizations you can have is that your worth is not determined by anyone but you. This is especially powerful when it comes to relationships. When you stop seeking approval from him, you stop living in a state of constant anxiety and insecurity. You stop overthinking every message, every interaction, and every move he makes. Instead, you focus on how you can grow, how you can better yourself, and how you can be the best version of yourself. This shift in mindset takes away the pressure, and when you stop trying to impress or gain approval from him, you create space for an authentic connection to form. He will be drawn to your confidence, your strength, and your ability to stand on your own. Self-improvement is not a destination, it's a lifelong journey. Every day offers a new opportunity for growth. It's about making small changes that add up to big transformations over time. When you focus on improving your mindset, your habits, your goals, and your outlook on life, you start to realize that you in control. He will notice that you are someone who is dedicated to becoming better, and that energy is contagious. The right people will be attracted to your journey, and he will want to be a part of it. By focusing on self-improvement and internal validation, you no longer place your worth in the hands of someone else. You recognize that you have everything you need within you, and that is a powerful realization. When you prioritize becoming the best version of yourself, he will recognize that you are not someone to be taken for granted. You are a person who knows their value, and that makes you irresistible. Imagine a world where he is the one chasing your attention, not the other way around. You don't need to beg, you don't need to compete for it, and you certainly don't need to chase after it. You just need to live your life with such confidence and self-assurance that it becomes impossible for him to ignore you. This is how powerful you become when you understand that your attention is valuable and should be earned, not demanded. When you make him work for your attention, you're setting the stage for a relationship built on mutual respect and admiration. Think about this for a second. How often do you find yourself giving your time, your energy, and your attention to someone who doesn't appreciate it? You may think that by showing up, by giving him everything you've got, you're proving your worth. But the truth is, you're depleting your own value in the process. Attention is not something to be freely given. It's something that should be earned. When you start to realize how precious your attention is, you shift your entire mindset. You stop giving it away freely and start requiring him to meet you at your level. This is the starting point for a relationship that's built on respect, understanding, and real connection. When you make him earn your attention, you create a sense of mystery, a sense of anticipation. People are drawn to what they can't have easily. The more you withhold your attention, the more he will desire it. It's human nature. When you stop chasing, stop making yourself available at every moment, and stop acting like you're always waiting for his next move, he will realize that you are someone worth pursuing. This is how attraction works. It's not about playing games, it's about setting boundaries, valuing yourself, and allowing him to see your worth. You show him that your time, energy, and attention are precious gifts that need to be earned through meaningful actions, not empty words. It's time to stop giving away your attention to people who don't deserve it. You're not a convenience, and you're not a backup option. Your time is valuable, and when you start valuing it, he will start to value it too. You're no longer waiting for him to text or call. Instead, you're living your life fully, doing the things that bring you joy and pursuing your own passions. You're not sitting by the phone, hoping for his attention. You're out there living with purpose and intention. And the more you do this, the more he will begin to recognize that your attention is something that must be earned, not expected. When you stop giving away your attention without question, you create an environment where he has to prove that he is worthy of your time and energy. It's no longer about him showing you just enough to keep you interested. It's about him proving that he can meet your needs, respect your boundaries, and make you feel valued. You no longer feel the need to chase after him or keep tabs on his every move. Instead, he must demonstrate through consistent effort, communication, and respect that he deserves your attention. This sets a new standard for the way you approach relationships. You start to see that he must meet you where you are, not the other way around. And this doesn't mean playing games or holding him at arm's length for no reason. It means knowing your worth and choosing not to waste your time with someone who doesn't recognize it. It's about establishing clear expectations and making sure that he knows that you won't settle for less than you deserve. The moment you set these boundaries, he will start to see you in a different light. He will respect you more because you're not simply handing over your attention without thought. Instead, you are making him work for it, and in turn, this fosters a deeper, more meaningful connection. The key to making him earn your attention is understanding that you are enough as you are. You don't need to change who you are to get his attention. You don't need to beg or change yourself for validation. Instead, you create a space where he must step up and prove that he's worthy of you. When you live with this mindset, your confidence and sense of self-worth become unshakable. You're no longer waiting for someone else to fill the gaps in your life. You're living your life fully, and he has to meet you there. When you let him earn your attention, you are making a powerful statement about what you value and what you expect in a relationship. You are no longer settling for the bare minimum, hoping that he will eventually see your worth. Instead, you're demanding that he step up and show you respect, love, and commitment. This shifts the power dynamic. Now it's not about him having the upper hand. It's about mutual respect and shared effort. And when he realizes this, the game changes. Remember, you are worthy of the best. Your attention is a precious gift and should never be given away lightly. When you let him earn your attention, you're teaching him how to value you, how to treat you, and how to show up in the relationship. This is the foundation for something real, something lasting, and something truly fulfilling. Imagine waking up every day without the weight of control hanging over your life, without feeling like you need to steer every moment, every situation, and every relationship to meet your expectations. The moment you release the need for control is the moment you step into true freedom. It's the moment he notices that you're not trying to manage every detail, not trying to force things to work the way you want. Instead, you become someone who is at peace with uncertainty, someone who can allow life to unfold naturally without feeling the pressure to dictate it. This shift is powerful. It invites ease, flow, and deeper connection into your life. When you stop controlling, you stop living in constant resistance. You stop fighting against the flow of life and you begin to work with it. It's the kind of inner peace that radiates outward, attracting the right energy into your life. He will notice this shift in you, how you no longer chase after outcomes or try to force things into place. Instead, you allow space for the right people, the right circumstances, and the right opportunities to enter your life. When you release the need for control, you give yourself the freedom to experience life as it comes, without worrying about every tiny detail. This newfound ease is magnetic, and it draws others, especially him, to you in ways that chasing after control never could. Think about it. How many times have you tried to control the outcome of a situation? Whether it's trying to make him like you, trying to make a relationship work, or trying to predict every move he might make, it's exhausting. The truth is, when you try to control everything, you're limiting yourself and your experiences. You're saying to the universe, I know what's best, instead of trusting that life will unfold in the best possible way for you. The moment you let go of that need to control, you create space for new possibilities to arise. Suddenly, you're not stuck in a constant loop of trying to manipulate and manage situations. Instead, you're open to life's flow, ready to see what comes next. Releasing control doesn't mean being passive or complacent. It doesn't mean you stop taking action or stop making decisions. What it means is that you stop clinging to rigid expectations and start trusting the process. You trust that your efforts, combined with faith in life's timing, will bring you the results you desire. When you stop trying to control every outcome, you create space for growth. You allow room for surprises, for experiences that are even better than you imagine. And when you trust the journey, you stop carrying the heavy burden of having to control every aspect of it. He will see that you no longer place unnecessary pressure on yourself or the relationship. And this relaxed, trusting energy will create a stronger, more grounded connection. Imagine how different your interactions would be if you didn't feel the need to control his reactions or emotions. How much lighter would you feel if you stopped overthinking every word you say, wondering if he will approve or like it? When you release the need to control how he feels or behaves, you free yourself from the anxiety of constantly trying to manage the situation. You stop trying to make things perfect, and instead, you embrace what is. You allow him to show up as he is without feeling the pressure to shape or change him. This kind of acceptance is powerful. It allows you both to be authentic in the relationship, free from the fear of disappointing each other or not meeting unrealistic expectations. Letting go of control also means learning to trust yourself. It means believing that you are enough, just as you are, without needing to manipulate situations or people to feel validated. When you believe in your own strength and resilience, you stop needing to control everything around you. You trust that no matter what happens, you'll be able to handle it. You trust that you will always find a way to thrive, even if things don't go as planned. This kind of self-trust is magnetic. He will be drawn to your confidence, your ability to handle life's unpredictability with grace. When you release control, you also release the fear of rejection or failure. You no longer feel the need to control how he perceives you, how he acts, or how he responds. Instead, you focus on showing up as your authentic self without the need for constant validation. You stop chasing after his approval or trying to make him fit into your idea of what he should be. This takes away the pressure and allows for a more relaxed, genuine connection to form. He will respect you more when you let go of trying to control the relationship. Instead of trying to force things, you let the relationship grow naturally with mutual respect, understanding, and space for each other to evolve. Letting go of control is also incredibly freeing when it comes to your goals and dreams. The more you try to control every step of your journey, the more you limit the possibilities. When you let go of rigid expectations and trust in the process, you open yourself up to new opportunities, new ideas, and new paths that you may never have considered. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as lessons. You learn to flow with life instead of resisting it, and this is where true success lies. When you trust the process, you trust that everything is happening for your highest good, even if you can't see the full picture yet. And as you stop controlling the outcome, you become more present in the journey, appreciating each step along the way. When you stop clinging to control, you make room for life's magic to unfold. You start to trust that things will work out in ways you couldn't have planned or predicted. You trust yourself. You trust the process. And you trust that he will either rise to meet you or move aside for someone who does. Releasing control doesn't mean giving up. It means stepping into your power, being open to the flow of life, and allowing yourself to be exactly who you are. When you release the need for control, everything falls into place.